All right, what's going on, everybody? What's today? Today's not Tuesday. Today is Monday. It is a great Monday, guys. We are here to do Behind the Breakthrough. We're going to bring on a very special guest. Mr. Mike Perkins is going to join us, and he is going to share his journey, guys. And the point of Behind the Breakthrough is really just to give you an opportunity as members to see what other members are out there doing, where they're finding their success, the lessons they've learned, and just to really show you that it is possible at every stage, regardless. We can look back and say we started this back in 2020, and so you have an advantage, and things were different then, but people are still finding success today, and that's important, I think, for all of us to see. That was something I really enjoyed, was these conversations and seeing how people that were just like myself were finding such great levels of success in this space. So let me get Mike invited up here, live invite as a speaker. All right, Mr. Perkins, my man, you should see some level of notification on your end that allows you to jump in here with me. I appreciate you guys being here with us. Mr. Kusky, good to see you. Steve Chamberlain, how you doing? John and Julianne Woody, how you guys doing? Bill Rubel, Gabe, what's going on, buddy? Joseph, Mr. Hendricks, how you doing, pal? Chris Acosta, Scott Spear, good to see you guys. Yes, absolutely. And I see that I have Mr. Mike Perkins live with us. Mike, you hear me okay, buddy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I don't have any echoes. I think we are rocking and rolling. Well, I appreciate you being on here with us, my man. I'm going to fess up to everybody on the call and let them know that this almost slipped through my calendar somehow. And thankfully, Mr. Mike was so gracious to just give me a friendly reminder that we had a conversation scheduled for today. So glad we made it. We are here to rock and roll. Mike, really, this is easy, man. It's just a conversation, right? We're just hanging out. We're going to let the other members know what you've been up to, kind of how you started, where you're finding yourself now, and kind of what some of the plans for the future, and maybe some levels of some lessons or ideas and things that maybe you've taken from this. So I'll open the floor to you, man. Just, a couple minutes real quick of just the introduction, who you are, where you're from, and we'll dive into it.
All right. Sounds good. Such an honor to be here. Really appreciate it. So 51 years old, be 52 this fall. So I grew up in Southern Michigan. My parents were great parents. But they just there was no entrepreneurial talks at all throughout my growing up. They were encouraged us to get a good job with the state or the county, something like that, do your 25, 30 years, retire, get you a house, and kind of, right off into the sunset. So it took me a long time to figure things out. But certainly glad I'm here. My background's in law enforcement, so that's kind of where I was at. And did a little work for the parole board after I got my bachelor's degree, and I thought I was going to continue with the administration there. So I went on and got my master's, and then after 2.5, 3 years after that, I kind of decided it wasn't for me. So kind of went solo at that point, and just found something that was a little less stressful, and just kind of wanted to get away from that line of work. And so, discovered self-storage, met some great people, and here we are 2.5 years later.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And so, like many of us, right, our parents of that age group, a lot of them were talking about just going to school, getting that job, that typical conversation. I guess, what was that driving force between this is just not going to be it, and I want to find something different? And then how did you land on self-storage?
Yeah, it was just, I started to look around me, and I started to see, I thought with my age, I was 49 at the time, and I just thought, I started reading Jim Rohn, to be honest with you, a lot of Jim Rohn books, and a lot of self-help and things like that, and really helped me start believing in myself to think that I could do something like this. And then at the same time I was kind of building up my mindset, we were moving. I rented a U-Haul from here in town. The guy happens to have 4 storage buildings. So when I returned the truck, I was like, hey, how does this work out for you? I mean, is it, how does that work out for you? And he said, have you ever heard of the Storage Rebellion? And I said, no. And he said, check them out. And if you have any questions, let me know. So I did. And I just sat around for quite a while, 5, 6 months, and just kind of saw who was who and who was doing what. And um, I reached out to Scott Spear. It was in December, I think, of 23. And yeah, I mean, he won't want to take much credit for this, but he certainly deserves a lot of it. But he's really helped us where we are, and we're really thankful for him and everybody else.
Yeah, buddy. I hear that, man. We thank you for that. I appreciate you sharing that, man. For sure. A question for you, I guess, is something for some, maybe for the newer folks. You said you kind of hung out. You were here for like 6 to 8 months. I know that in the past you've said that you were kind of in the background a little bit for a while in the Storage Rebellion. Before then, you were maybe more comfortable to step forward and start, asking for help and helping others as you went. Do you feel, so for those people that are starting new and they're just like, I'm just going to hang back and just see what happens, see how this goes. Like, do you feel that there was really a shift once you started just putting yourself out there and opening yourself up to the group and the network and letting everyone know who you are? Did you notice a shift in growth from your first 6 months of just checking things out to really actively engaging? Was there a difference in those 2 timeframes for you?
Yeah, it was like a rocket ship. There was just a point I thought, I don't care if I look foolish. I don't care if people take my questions as as foolishness or off topic or whatever. It's all or nothing. I mean, this is not, it's serious business. It's not for funsies. For me anyway, I mean, it's like I want it and still want it as bad as the air I breathe. So I feel that there's people that, dabble a little bit on Monday, maybe make 5 calls. Wednesday, maybe make a couple of more and answer some emails. But for me, what I had to do, especially, I think everybody knows really good deals are harder to find even than when they were 2.5 years ago when I first discovered it. So you really, in my opinion, you really have to dig in, and it's not for dabbling. It's very serious. It's your life depends on it. How you're going to live your life financially for the rest of your life until, it's all riding on that. So for me, it's like survival. It's like, we're going to do it. We're doing it. It's happening. And I would just say, you got to stay after it. You got to really, really want it. You got to really want it. That's just for me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was a very good answer. And that leads me into our why, right? We talk about that, like having a why. Like, nobody just wakes up out of the blue and decides, I'm going to just change my life. I'm going to do something. Like, something is driving that, whether it's your current work situation, financial situation, home, whatever the situation is that you're looking to change. Having that why is so important because, like you said, I mean, good deals can be hard to find, right? And so for every 100 calls we make, 1 or 2 answer, and you have those kind of, I don't want to say odds against you, but the stats, right? I mean, the numbers, you're just going to get a low percentage of the bigger number of things that you do. And I think having a strong why to latch onto and to remember is very important. And it helps you when those times are tough and you're pulling your hair out, like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Why am I doing this? Like, that's the why. And you can answer yourself by having that strong why. So that's fantastic. Super important. And I agree. I mean, you can dabble, right? And there's people that maybe they check it out a little bit and they're not sure if they want to get into multifamily or if they want to go flip houses or if they want to buy storage, and then finding that niche, identifying what skills are you bringing to the table? What do you have? Are you just someone that has a lot of capital but not a lot of time? Someone that has a lot of time but not a lot of capital? Someone that's really good at cold calling? Someone that's really good at finding deals? And then that's what this community is for, is to be able to come together and match up our strengths with areas that we need improvement and help each other rise up. Tell us a little bit about some of your recent successes, because I'm familiar with some recent successes, but I know that you're constantly putting yourself out there. So kudos to you for that. I know that you get inbound calls from people just from the posts that you create on Facebook, right? So you're creating a post on Facebook that's living out there, that's there forever, and you're actually getting inbound calls from owners that are seeing your post on Facebook, on social media, and they're actually reaching out directly to you. So if you could talk a little bit about that and what that's generated for you, what that looks like, and then, some of the recent successes that I know that you've had.
Yeah, Facebook's definitely a good one, and I mean, the more your posts get recognized, the more they widen your audience, so, but I would just say beyond that, just think about different ways, very creative ways that you kind of have to be, I think now with, I mean, there's not as many good deals as there were in the past. So you kind of have to, I think, adjust for that. What can I do to kind of widen to get more emails, to get more calls? What can I do creatively? What would I do to increase those opportunities? So I've done some other things too that's really helped me. But yeah, to be honest, Shane, I mean, actually, I'm gonna do some cold calling this week for our warehouse, trying to get that leased to somebody. But beyond that, I haven't done much cold calling, to be honest with you, because there's just, I've made a lot of relationships over the last 2.5 years with different people that do different things, and just I make sure and I just hammer it home that everybody knows what I'm doing, whether that's hanging cards at the party store down the road on their little post-it board, or when I was really in the heat of calling people. I mean, I would work night shift. I'd get home at 5 a.m. I'd be up at 10, starting to cold call and just cold call all through the day, and I had a list of like 900 calls that still, or some of them are untapped here, because I mean, everybody can get lists, right? But they're selling that same list to 5,000 other people that are calling the same people. I'd make my own list if it were me. But yeah, it's amazing once you dig in and make the relationships along the way, and just think of ways that you can help provide value to others, and keep that in mind, and just put yourself around the people who you think you would like to, I mean, I kind of like Scott Spear travels a lot. I mean, I probably wouldn't travel quite as much as he does, but, I just kind of modeled, I'm like, he's, just a hair older than me, not a whole lot, but I just kind of followed him because he was more, I felt, in line with where I was wanting to go, and that's kind of who became my mentor. So, yeah, it's just amazing once you dig in and you quit dabbling. And not to say that you might get one if you're dabbling, but once you really dig in and just hammer it home, calling it, if you work at W2 during the day at break time or lunchtime, I mean, making some calls, shooting some emails, whatever, a little bit of work is better than none. So, yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it is. It goes back to kind of the saying of do the hard work now to live the easy life later kind of thing, right? I mean, if you're willing to put it in now, put in that time. But I will say that you hit on something that I feel is very important. And I felt the same way when I first started out. I needed lists, and I got lists. So two things. One, you're building lists, you're not buying lists, correct? You're building your own list, you're tracking your calls, your follow-ups, you're handling that internal. Correct. Okay. So self-made lists. I did buy a list up front at one point. And the point I'm really trying to get at is as you go, like, it seems like you'll find more deals outside of those lists, outside of those cold calls, outside of those mailers, and it starts to become more of a relationship game, right? And if you've studied real estate investing for any length of time, you find out a lot of times that some of the best deals never actually hit the market, right? They don't actually make it out to the world, to the market. That's not to say that there aren't good deals to be had in the market. And I would say like there's still good deals out there right now, but I think that just, when we were buying in from anywhere from like 2018 to 2021, 22, 23, it was almost hard to go wrong in a lot of those. Obviously things are leveled out. A lot of us are starting to see where things are leveling out. And for those of us that bought right, we're still okay. And some people that maybe thought that the trajectory we were on was going to stay the same the whole time, they might find themselves in trouble. But all that to be said, that even though you need to grind it out early, and if that's what it takes to get the ball rolling, maybe get your first deal, get your first wholesale, that's something. But as you go, it will not be a forever grind. You will start to make relationships with brokers, investors, owners, operators, people that can then bring you a deal. And hey, I heard about this deal. I have this deal. I know you're looking in this area. I know you're looking down here. So it does level out, I think, with those relationships, as long as you position yourself in a way that you have done, with letting everyone know, not being afraid to be out there and saying, listen, I'm buying storage. This is what I'm doing. This is who we are. And this is how you get a hold of us. So kudos to you. Speaking of buying storage, let's dive into your recent success. I know that you just recently closed. It was technically your second facility, right? Bless you. But we wholesaled one. But then you finally found one that fit your box to own and operate. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so that one in Georgia there, that came through a wholesaler who I had kind of fostered a relationship with, and it seemed like a really good deal. So I ran it by Scott, and then, as you know, we ended up on site down there, did our due diligence, everything checked out. So we went forward with it. And yeah, we've been down there actually 3 times. We just got back this morning about 2:30ish from there, and checked on some things, did some work, installed some cameras and stuff. And yeah, it's been going well. I mean, I think we've got reoccurring billing up to 76%. I think we were like 36%ish, I think, when we started. And we've got like all of our tenants out pretty much, auction that we need to auction. I think we got 3 more coming up, and then we'll have that done. And yeah, we're seeing more people starting to lease up now through the website where we don't even have to talk with them. But Tammy and I, we wanted to be the call center on this, so we are the call center. So when a tenant calls or prospective tenant calls, they usually get Tammy. So, but yeah, it's been great, and it's kind of like part A and part B. Part A, you grind out and you find the deal, and then part B comes, the operations side of it, how that kind of kicks in. And we're 3 months into it now, and it's, I'm not going to say it's been easy, but it's not as tough as what I thought it was going to be. There's still some things I need to learn with like ads and things like that. I want to learn more about that. But as far as the marketing part, but other than that, it's been, I mean, the software kind of does the work for you. I mean, you just, I mean, it runs smoothly. I mean, we're 12.5 hours away. It's fenced. It's got a, an automated gate. We just installed 9 cameras down there, and we had to replace our boots on the ground. I kind of had some, without having cameras there and just talking with a couple of people in the neighborhood, I just kind of had my suspicions on some things maybe going on there that we wouldn't approve of. And so sure enough, when we pulled in Saturday morning, there about, I think, 9 o'clock in the morning, there was this white car sitting like right in front of our warehouse there where you back into the docks, this little 30 by 40 warehouse. And come to find out, it was the boots on the ground sister's car, who they appeared to have had a party in our warehouse Friday night, and maybe had a little too much to drink, so left her car there. And I checked the cameras here in a little bit, but it should be gone here pretty quick. So we were already planning on letting her go, so we did. We met with a new guy, went through everything with him, just his normal duties and any extras that come up. We take care of with that, and um, he's really super nice guy, um, real mild mannered guy, really smart. He's going to be a perfect fit. He runs a couple of. He's an admin on a couple of local community Facebook pages, so I mean,
Nice.
I can't even go wrong with that. I mean, you got
Sure.
advertisement there. In fact, he said, I think I might be able to help you get this building leased, which would really add a lot to our gross monthly. So, yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
really excited. I'm glad we made the trip. It was a surprise visit. It's a 12.5 hour drive, but hey, once you're into this is your investment. It's your partners, it's your investors.
Yeah.
It's you have to take all that into account. It's not just you. You've got all these people involved, and hey, it's you. When people want answers, they come to you. So you got to make sure that you're on top of everything, know what's going on at your facility. So now we got cameras, we know
Nice.
what's going on, and yeah.
How big is the facility?
We've got 107 doors. I think it's 10,500, and then we've got the 30 by 40 warehouse.
Perfect. So this deal came through a
116 doors, I'm
wholesaler you
sorry.
had fostered a relationship with. You got about 11, 12, 13,000 square feet, give or take, with the warehouse there, fence gated and security cameras now installed, and you're self-managing. And this is your first rodeo owning and operating, and you're still here with us, and you're still ticking, you're still loving it. So there we go. So that's just, I think what makes it seem like it could be more difficult, right? It's just what we don't know. And I think that's what stops us, is we feel like we need to know everything before we go ahead and put out that first offer, before we put out that LOI, or before we even call that potential seller or that broker. And that's not the case, right? You got to lean into this community and understand that no matter where you are in your journey, there's somebody else that has been exactly where you are, and they've gotten, about where you're trying to go, and they can help answer those questions that you don't even know you have yet. So that's fantastic, man. I appreciate you sharing that. What are some roadblocks or some hurdles that you faced, going into your first deal, finding it, getting it, funding it, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I guess a good example of an obstacle would, and then kind of getting your hopes up and then getting crushed would be Virginia last year. So great deal. Everything worked. I mean, it was a great deal, and then we get down there, and there was this neighboring property that would really make this thing work, like really good. And if we could get a good deal on that, we would maybe buy that too. And just so happened we talked to the owner, and sure enough, we could get a pretty decent deal on it. So we were looking at putting that all together, and then everything looked great. And then 12 days left in contract, we had some environmental concerns come up next door. So we had a site engineer out there, and they were telling us what would have to come next, and it was a lot of money to be spent on a chance that it may pass or may not, and it just wasn't favorable. So that was it. And I mean, that was after probably 3 or 4 deals just falling apart because the seller kind of flip-flopped and changed or upped the price or what have you, or just kind of fell off the face of the earth and never called you back. You could never get a hold of them again, and you thought you had it nailed. Yeah, you just have to keep pushing forward, and that's where the why comes in. It's like, if your why is strong enough, you'll push past those things, and you got the community here to lean on, of course. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of a gut punch, to be honest with you. You want to see a grown man cry. I mean, that was, but then, Tammy, my wife, she actually said, could you wholesale it? And I said, technically, yes. I mean, there's 12 days left in the contract. Well, guess what? We brought her, it was taken to the community. Somebody was really interested that they weren't so concerned with the environmental stuff for them. okay, for what they had planned. So they were willing to invest in it. So long story short, we assigned it to somebody else within the community here. Uh, and, we were happy because we kind of were reimbursed for our efforts that we had into that property. And the buyer, person we assigned it to here in the community, they were very happy because we left a lot of meat on the bone for them. And I talk to that person once every 4 or 5 weeks. And I mean, they're putting a laundromat in there in addition to the storage that's there. I mean, they're doing great. So I'm very happy for them because we were able to help them, and we were able to get kind of taken care of for our efforts. And I didn't know a thing about wholesaling, but I didn't care. It's like, hey, if it's an opportunity and somebody's interested, let's do it. I mean, I'll just learn as I go. I've been looking for places to buy, not wholesale, for me. But that's like, I mean, where my breakthrough came through, you were talking earlier about, people just, you got to hammer, or you got to really dedicate yourself to this. It's like, all these questions and all this stuff, I was just like, I threw everything to the wind and just got on the phone and hammered it home. I mean, all the time, all day, because I worked nights. I had those afternoons before my next shift started at night, 9 o'clock that night. So I'd call, and when I ran out of time in one state, I'd start calling out west where they're 3 or 4 hours behind us, just trying to take advantage of everything, leave no stone unturned.
Nice, man. That's amazing. Well, yeah,
I get a little excited.
I've been privy to your journey, and I've been, there kind of in feeling the ups and downs that you've experienced. And I will say that I think your drive and your persistence to push through, because listen, if it was easy, everybody would do it and everyone would be super successful. So it's when we can push through those hard times, those punches to the gut that we're going to feel, and getting to the other side of that is huge. Yeah, that's amazing. I think your story has definitely touched those that were able to join us this morning, and will certainly be an outstanding viewing experience for those watching after us, because you are an inspiration, man. You're definitely, to me, a great example of what can happen when you just don't give up, when you really have your eye on the prize. You're willing to do whatever it takes. You're willing to put in the effort, the time, the energy, and you're going to find the success that you found, which to you may not feel quick, but it from the outside, I mean, it seems quick. Like you are to me, you've hit a launch pad. At some point, maybe you were plateaued, but I think that you're definitely on the climb up, and it's great to play a small role in it, and to be able to experience it with you. If you could leave members with any tips, tricks, a piece of advice, what would you leave them with?
I would just say everybody's got a choice, and that is either you want to really do this, or maybe you're not just quite ready yet. And I would say start when you feel that you're ready. And I mean, it definitely takes a fire, I think, and I would surround myself with like-minded people in this community. And you may have to get rid of some things in your life here and there that will interfere with your achieving this goal. And sometimes those things are hard to let go of. But just pour your heart and soul into it and provide value to others. Don't expect anything in return, and just get it. Just throw it. Don't worry about it. Don't let that person that's going to pick up on the other end of the line at some facility down south, don't let that other person intimidate you enough to prevent you from going after what you really want. And a lot of people are scared of making calls. Don't be scared of making calls. Don't let them prevent you from going where you want to go.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right, man. Well, we're going to have a slew of people watching this that maybe have not taken that step and joined the Storage Rebellion University quite yet. They might be on the fence and they're just not sure if it's right for them. Why should other community members consider joining you and other storage rebels inside the university?
Well, yeah, I mean, a great example, and I'll apologize ahead of time for my emotions at the beginning of this, but you guys mean a lot to me, okay, to us. So, but I couldn't have done this without Shane and Andrea. I couldn't have done it without Scott and Chris. Couldn't have done it. So, yeah, lean into your community. I mean, lean into those that you feel like you might mesh with a little better than others. I mean, and just find where you can provide value and just foster relationships because, man, 2.5 years later, fast forward, all that stuff is starting to come back now. It's through emails, telephone calls. It's all starting to come back.
For sure, man. Awesome. That was fantastic. That was a great answer. I appreciate it. And yeah, the only goal for us in the university is to see everybody achieve the goals that they want to achieve, find that first deal, and then work their way, towards maybe get into that insiders, and we can start talking about scaling and buying multiple facilities and building teams and things like that. But for now, the real goal is just to help write our 3 E's, our 3E model for success, right? We encourage, we educate, and we empower. So that's what these calls are for. That's what this community is for. And guys, if you'd like to join us in the Storage Rebellion University with Mike, myself, other like-minded investors, you can head over to the My Courses tab in the left-hand column. And in there, you will see Storage Rebellion University. There's a lot of things that go with that university. We've got live coaching calls every single week. We've got an accelerator course that'll just help you get from A to Z much, much quicker and really understand the breakdown of finding, funding, and operating your first storage facility. And then obviously you have access to a separate forum with awesome people like Mike and that are in there putting out content, answering questions, and really trying to help each other achieve the goals that we've set forth. So thank you all for being here. Mike, man, I can't thank you enough, brother. I was really excited about this call. And yeah, this couldn't have gone any better, man. You are an inspiration. I know that you inspire me, inspire everybody on this call, and you'll be inspiring the people that are watching this after us. So keep up the good work, man. We appreciate you and Tammy and all the good things that you guys are doing in this university as well. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time. Guys, everybody, this will be recorded. You'll be able to catch the recording. You can watch this back. If you're interested in being spotlighted on the Behind the Breakthrough, reach out to me, and I'm happy to have a conversation and set something up with you. If you guys are interested in joining the university, or for those of you in the university looking to join the insiders, reach out to me as well. I'm happy to have the conversation. But I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Mike, man, keep killing it, buddy. I appreciate you. See you, pal.
Thank you, brother. Go get it.